Alright, what's going on, you guys? I'm from Ramazan Emeev. In this video, I'll be doing my full card predictions, analysis, picks, and breakdown for UFC Fight Night 195, Led versus Dumont. I'll start off showing the previous results from the previous cards and on to the breakdowns. Stick until the end if you'd like to hear how to support the channel. If you're new around here, I am a handicapper, I have experience of betting MMA and the UFC for over 10 years. I'll start off this video, like I said, by showing the results from previous cards. As I always say, I don't use third-party records just because for sake of time, but everything that I do, I record in these videos. You can check it out from previous videos if you care about this. I have everything organized in playlists, and if you want to know how to read the spreadsheet and whatnot, I have links in the description. Alright, so for the year, from the start of the channel, I have accumulated 170.6% profit, or in unit size, and for this year only I have a 530% profit if I'm going to compare per event profit, even though it's been a while since I'm accumulating losses, but I don't hide anything, as you guys know. Everything is out here. Alright, so I also separate these things into different segments. Sorry about the noise, guys. I separate this in different segments, in high, medium, low quality bets, so this is the profit per segment. Alright, and this is how I'm doing throughout the year. I had a good start, but now, like I told you guys, it's been a while since I'm accumulating losses, but hopefully this card will turn around and get back on the winning column. Alright, so if you want to hear more about this, feel free to ask me or take a look in the description. I have a video where I explain this in some detail. Alright, so before starting with the picks and the bets, let me show you guys my Instagram if you'd like to support to follow me. I put up some bets there before the video comes up, so feel free to take a look into that. Alright, like I said, stick to the end if you'd like to support me on Patreon. Okay, so no further ado, in the main event, Aspen Led versus Norman Dumont. I'm picking Led, probably gonna just bet Dumont by decision. I'm gonna be only talking about straight bets here, guys. In the parlays, I'm not gonna be doing prop bets in this video. I'll be doing prop bets in another video, right? So between Carlos Felipe and Andrei Arlovski, I'm picking betting Felipe, 1% of my money. Jim Miller versus Erick Gonzalez, I'm picking Miller but not betting the fight. Julian Marquez versus Jordan WRigh, I'm picking and betting Marquez, less than 1 on unit. I'm parlaying Marquez with some parlays. Bruno Blindado Silva versus Andrew Sanchez, picking Bruno but not betting. DAnaa Batgerel versus Brandon Davis, I'm picking DAnaa but betting Davis. If this sounds curious to you, stick into the breakdown, you can hear about it. ARiane Carnelossi versus NUnes, I'm picking Carnelossi but not betting. Ramazan Emeev versus Danny Roberts, one more, picking the favorite but betting the dog, betting Roberts but picking Emeev. Sijara Eubanks versus Luana Carolina, I'm picking Eubanks but not betting the fight. Ludovi Klein versus Landwehr, I'm picking Klein but not betting the fight. Manon Fioro versus Mara Bueno Silva, I'm picking and betting Fioro. Actually, I forgot to add this one here. I'm throwing Fioro in some parlay, guys. This is a low quality bet, and I'm gonna be doing a little bit less than a unit on Fioro. Then I'll fix these columns here that I forgot to add the information. Right, so on to the breakdown, guys. I'm gonna cover this one for you. It's not in order, okay, so I apologize for that. So, but at least feel free to take a look at the order in the card yourself. Okay, so between DAnaa Batgerel versus Brandon Davis, actually this is one that, like I said, I'm picking DAnaa but betting Davis. The reason is, guys, DAnaa, he looked pretty impressive, obviously, with the knockout in his last fight. In his previous fight, he also looked pretty good with the stand-up. This guy's a kickboxing specialist, he's lean, he's a quite big and strong bantamweight, he also has good takedown defense, he's tough to hold down. He's a little bit cleaner than Brandon Davis. Brandon Davis is the bigger man here. This guy is very big as a bantamweight, and he's coming back to the UFC. He went out for 4 fights, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, won one by decision, but the rest he finished his opponent. So he looked impressive there, even though I could find only one of those videos. But Davis, he's not a bad fighter. He fought big names in the UFC, Giga Chikadze, Zabit. So this guy had close fights against them. You can see the talent of Davis. But stylistically, this is a little bit better for DAnaa, just because he's a little bit cleaner on the kickboxing. He throws better straight punches. Even though, like I told you guys, Brandon is bigger, he's taller, he's ranger. So could be tricky, could be very competitive on the feet. and Davis can take this to the ground, which would make things interesting, but still it's not like a guarantee that Brandon can take this to the ground, guys. Just give me a second here to update this one. So it's not like guaranteed that Davis brings this to the ground. If the ground, you know, if he could, you know, quite comfortably take DAnaa down, Davis would be arguably the favorite. But again, I think this is a little bit favors DAnaa a little bit better. But still, guys, it's a close fight. Like I'm putting in my calculations here, I have DAnaa 55% in average and Davis 45%, which would give these odds. If you take a look at the odds, Davis is like plus $60. So to me, it makes sense to bet Davis, and definitely to bet Davis by decision, because DAnaa is a tough guy. He's not easy to finish, you know. I don't think Davis submits him. I don't think Davis KOs DAnaa. There's a little bit more chance for DAnaa for the KO, right? So to me, it makes sense to bet Davis because of the close nature of the fight, and especially by decision. You know, I think of, you know, from 250, it's pretty interesting to bet Davis here. On to the next fight, Bruno Blindado Silva versus Andrei Sanchez, another interesting one. This is quite tricky to call. None of these guys are elite fighters. Andrew, he does a better job in mixing up his game, you know, with the takedowns. He also doesn't have that bad stand-up, at least for MMA. But it's not like elite level or anything, you know. He has some flaws in his game. He doesn't quite set things up too well, you know. When he tends to get hit quite a bit. He has been KO'd before, you know, and his takedowns are not bad, but it's not like you know, he times them well or control guys pretty well. Bruno Blindado Silva, on the other hand, this guy is like you know, a natural fighter. Let's put it this way, you know. He doesn't set up things himself, you know. He doesn't come with much of a strategy. He's a big guy for the division, you know, athletic and powerful, but he could do better in the stand-up if he set up, you know, his strikes behind the jab or something. He just comes forward and starts, you know, banging with guys. Guys shoot, he engages in the grappling transitions, even though he's not the best grappler. So it's tricky again, guys. I think Sanchez, he's the more well-rounded guy, definitely, you know, with the wrestling and whatnot. But I think gonna be basically Bruno being able to win this fight based on his physical strengths, you know. If I'm not mistaken, he's a little bit younger, almost nothing, but just a little bit younger. So I think he hits harder. I think he's more physical. He's gonna be able to stuff most of the takedowns, you know. I don't think he's gonna be controlled. He's gonna make Andrew work for it, and Andrew, in the past, he used it to fade, you know, with the cardio, and he has a little bit of a size disadvantage here and the power disadvantage. So I'm going Bruno by TKO, even though I'm not that confident. Andrei Sanchez by decision may be interesting, you know, because he could you know, make things interesting. The feet, take to the ground, you know, like clinch and hold Bruno on the clinch without you know, exposing himself too much. So Sanchez by decision from plus 300. I would like this bet, this line. I also would pass on this one, right? Sijara Eubanks versus Luana Carolina. Another good fight. Eubanks, she looked pretty solid in her last outing, you know, when she dropped to flyweight again. I said that in the video. That was one of my concerns with Eubanks, was the weight cut. I'm still not convinced that Sarge can cut weight, you know, comfortably as a flyweight. To me, this is again the biggest factor in this fight. You know, if she cuts weight well, Sijara, she's gonna be able to take it to the ground because she's so powerful and she's a good wrestler and she's such a great grappler. Luana Carolina, tough girl, you know, tall, long, and whatnot, good Muay Thai, but it's mostly like she's a tough fighter, basically, you know, with some Muay Thai. She has some, you know, attacks from her back, you know, etc. But it's just like, you know, she's experienced in MMA. It's not like, you know, high-level grappling or something. So if Sarge takes it to the ground, she's gonna dominate. It's pretty easy to predict. But if Sijara, if she cuts the weight not correctly, she can like guess from the first round, because I don't think it's gonna be easy to finish Luana. And then Luana can take over. You know, we're winning a decision on the outside with Sarge getting tired. You know, so it's not impossible, even though I think there's more value on Eubanks in this fight, but I would like to see if Eubanks, she comes, you know, sharp with the weight cut. I would bet her, you know, I would parlay her, but as of now, I'm staying out of this fight. I may take a look at Carolina by decision. If she gets to plus 450 range, I'd like that, because there is this potential factor that Sijara doesn't cut weight well again. Ramazan Emeev versus Danny Roberts, another interesting one. Emeev, if you know MMA, probably know this guy. He's been around for a while. he's known to be a boring fighter. He's a guy that's super technical, has lots of potential, but just doesn't live to this potential. Basically, he fights behind a technical jab. He can shoot a good single leg, take guys down and hold them down. But he doesn't do much rather than that. He knows that he's winning on points, then he doesn't risk. So that's a criticism that he's got. He tried to come up a little bit with that against Zavada. Didn't quite do it because Zavada was the aggressive guy, so kind of play into his hands in that regard. And I expect something similar here because Danny Roberts doesn't have much of a game plan. This guy comes to fight, with trying to basically look impressive. He tries to, throw big shots, he tries to throw big kicks, and tries to take guys down and look impressive from top and whatnot. I think this falls a little bit as a problem for Roberts, because this guy quite tall, long, he's fast and athletic, he has some power. If he fought technically, behind a jab, 1-2 and a head kick, because this guy has such a strong legs, and he could use much better his range and use way more kicks instead of just like trying to bang with guys. But that's the way he fights, that's that's why he's entertaining. Now, in terms of prediction, guys, it's quite tricky because if Emeev gonna do what he does, he's a smaller man here by 3 inches and probably, a couple of inches in reach. So, as surprising as it sounds, we could see Emeev trying to get inside and Roberts landing a little bit heavier, in a quite 50-50 fights where people don't know what to score. They could score on Roberts based on, more power, better kicks and etc. But still, it's quite tricky here. I expect that Emeev actually gonna be able to, do a little bit better with the jab, with the 1-2, take it to the ground, be more controlling, doing what he does. But it's not impossible that Danny Roberts finds some clean shots, keep it standing, use more kicks, find a clean shot, once in a round. So it could be close, that's what I'm saying here, because Emeev, again, sits back, can wait, and lose a split decision or something, So if you're going to bet Emeev, I would be careful here, guys, because Emeev, it's quite tricky to bet this guy being like a minus 330 favorite, So the bet to me would be on Roberts here, if to bet at all, especially Roberts by decision, because Emeev is tough. Roberts hit quite hard, he has a good kick, but I don't think he finishes Emeev, There's a small chance that Emeev finish Roberts, especially in the 3rd round if he starts falling behind and then tries to push the pace. Roberts tends to get tired as well, because he exerts so much energy in the first 2 rounds, so he could slow down and end up in the bottom, get finished by ground and pound type of thing, So Emeev round 3 TKO is not impossible. I would take a look at this line, Rather than that, it's either dog or pass for me, especially Roberts by decision. This is the one I'm interested in. ARiane Carnelossi versus Stella Nunes. This is basically a boxer versus a Muay Thai fighter. Stella Nunes likes to fight with the distance. She takes takes the center of the octagon, waits for her opponents to come, then she throw powerful shots, head kicks, knees up the middle, tip kicks. That's what she does basically. She doesn't do much rather than that, rather than try to implement a Muay Thai fight. Carnelossi, super aggressive fighter, thickly muscle, short girl, gets inside, starts throwing bombs, and then she shoots. Now, gonna be interesting to see this stylistic matchup. I'm favoring Carnelossi a little bit. I was thinking of parlaying her, I would like to see people continue betting Nunes, because I think people are swayed by the surname. I don't think she's related to Amanda. Maybe she is, and if you know about this, please tell me in the comments. But regardless, I don't think that's much of a factor. This girl is in a 3-year layoff. She's not gonna bring anything different here, like some BJJ or some takedowns against Carnelossi. Carnelossi showed she's very tough. Watch her fight against Nelly Young. It was a pretty entertaining bout. She was winning scrambles against a good grappler. Showed to be a solid grappler. ARiane, she also hits fairly hard because she's big and muscular for the division. So I think ARiane should be able to win this quite comfortably. Like I told you guys, I'm expecting that people continue betting Nunes, and I would like to bet Carnelossi a little bit, because she could win by, ground and pound, could choke Nunes, but I think she's probably going to get a decision, making Stella, fight on her back foot, not being able to find too many clean shots and whatnot. Alright? Ludovi Klein versus Nate Landwehr. Good stylistic matchup here. Klein is a guy that likes to fight in space, high-level kickboxer. Let me try to cut off the sun. So Klein's a high-level kickboxer. He likes space, 1-2 and head kick is just nasty. This guy so powerful in the legs, he kicks really hard. Nate Landwehr likes to move forward. He's the train for a reason. The guy keeps coming, but he's basically a boxer. Gets inside guys, eats shots, and keeps coming, keeps fighting. So it's gonna be again an interesting stylistic matchup. We saw Klein against Michael Trizano, but he lost a decision. I bet Trizano and bet Trizano by decision. Take a look at the video if you're interested. In why it's just this could be something similar here. Klein trying to find a clean shot, not being able to, and the Landwehr being the aggressor. Even though here is a little bit different, because Trizano, he was a technical fighter and had the reach and the height on Klein. Landwehr, I think he has pretty much the same reach as Klein, even though he's a little bit taller. But Nate, he gets inside, he takes risks, he takes lots of shots. So most likely it's Klein finding a clean shot, a knockout, or even like finding a clean shot on the feet, taking to the ground, submitting him. So Klein inside of the distance. I would like to take this line if I can get from like plus 200 or something. It's not impossible also that Klein keeps finding clean shots. He wins a 30-27 decision. But like I told you guys, Nate is gonna keep coming. He could be busier. Klein doesn't have the strongest output. He likes to use more like clean shots and combos, and then fights in sprints, in bursts, right? And then he waits to find another clean shot, another clean burst. So we could see like a split decision. People saying it was a robbery, etc. But it's not impossible that Nate wins this. I would take Nate by decision from like a pretty wide line, like plus 600, plus 550. Other than that, Klein inside of the distance may interest me. Klein by TKO also I'm interested into. Otherwise I think I'm gonna pass on this one. All right. Julian Marquez versus Jordan WRigh. This is another interesting one for me. WRigh, he's basically a guy that surprises. He surprised me against Jamie Pickett. I bet Pickett quite big there. I lost my bet. So WRigh is dangerous on the first round. This guy, can throw spinning kicks, good head kicks. He stands his grounds and he tries to bang with guys. He also has a good double leg. He jumps into the back pretty quickly. So he's dangerous on the first round. From there, I think he's gonna slow down. Julian Marquez game plan here would be to survive the onslaught, or at least try to be careful about Jordan WRigh on the first round. At least of course Julian Marquez has power himself. This guy has a strong chin. Either way, he could get finished by Jordan WRigh. It's not impossible. But I think Julian Marquez he's a tougher guy. He hits a little bit harder, at least with the hands, and I think he survives the first round and then he takes over. I expect that Marquez keeps coming. Basically, finishes WRigh in the second round. That's what I'm expecting here. After WRigh starts slowing down. So to me, it's I'm betting Marquez. These are my calculations. Just forgot to update their names here. So I have Marquez like 60% favorite, which makes some sense to bet him, to parlay him. Even though, like I said, if you like Jordan WRigh, I would say bet him on the round one. Could be either TKO or submission. He could submit Marquez as well, because like I said, he has a good double leg. He can take the back and get a choke in. So it's either round one or Marquez for me. All right, so I'm parlaying Marquez here. Jim Miller versus Erick Gonzalez. It's the old versus the young lion, but the young lion here doesn't have much technique. Erick is a guy that likes to get inside and use head kicks, use powerful swings inside. He tries to shoot a double leg as well, but he has some holes in his game. Chin is up, crashes distance. He's a quite big guy for the division. He's a long one, but he doesn't quite use his reach. He gets inside and tries to brawl and to bang. I think Miller gonna be smart on this fight. He's gonna probably find a clean shot and take it to the ground, win a decisive decision. Erick's super tough. It's not impossible to submit this guy, but it's nearly impossible to KO him. If you're interested, watch him against Rafa Marquez. He hit some crazy bombs. The guy just didn't even flinch. So this guy has a strong chin and has a decent submission defense game. So I think Miller It's either Miller submits him on the first when they are dry, or probably is gonna go to the decision. Now it's not impossible that Gonzalez win this. If Miller wins the first round, and then slows down, even a draw is possible in that regard. Miller wins a 10-8 round in the first, then he slows down. In a close fight, split draw type of thing. Like Gonzalez could win in the second and the third, but not finish Miller. So it's not impossible that this happens, but I think Miller is by decision here. I'm interested in Miller by decision, by the way, because I think people don't expect that Jim Miller wins by decision. So the line may be interesting there. Like I told you guys, it's not impossible that Miller submits Gonzalez, but Gonzalez has a decent submission defense game. He's super tough, and that chin is solid. All right. Manon Fioro versus Mara Bueno Silva, another interesting one. Actually this is coming up from another card. I'm gonna just briefly touch this one. So Manon Fioro, more rounded fighter, better kickboxing game. At least in the in and out part, she doesn't get hit as much as Mara Bueno Silva. Now Mara Bueno Silva more aggressive, hits a little bit harder, gets inside, try to bang. She has a good switch kick inside of range, which is dangerous. She also swings this intent. Not bad takedown defense. She's athletic, but Fioro, she's big and strong herself, has good timing on the double legs, She also has lots of side kicks to the legs, to the body, sharp 1-2s. So I expect Fioro to be able to, find the cleaner shots. When Mara tries to, get inside and try to brawl too much, I think Fioro takes it to the ground and controls her. So I'm slightly confident of Fioro here. I'm parlaying her a little bit. And I'm taking her by decision. Mara is very tough. It's not going to be easy to finish this girl. So Fioro by decision interests me, And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have for this fight. It's not impossible that Mara wins here. She could find a clean shot inside, get a TKO. She could also win by decision, by pushing Fioro back. Maybe, she can do more damage, and Fioro cannot get off her damage, her takedown. So it's not impossible that Mara wins here. But I think the value is on Fioro. She's going to probably be able to take it to the ground and dominate from there. Carlos Felipe versus Andrei Arlovski. Again, the old versus the young lion. Now, the young lion here, I'm going to give a shot for Carlos Felipe here. He's proved himself quite a bit. He's a confident guy. He's like a basic boxer, 1-2 fighter, throws to the body, good head movement. Doesn't have much rather than that. But I don't think he needs much here against Arlovski. Arlovski is a veteran of the game, good boxing himself, He also has some takedowns, but I don't think he's going to try to grapple with Felipe here. I don't think he's going to try to use his energy for that. We're going to probably see Arlovski trying to do what he does, keep the center of the octagon, trying to lure guys into this slow-paced fight where he excels, that he finds a little bit cleaner shots using his experience and whatnot. But I don't think Felipe gonna fall for that. At least I don't expect to. I think Felipe gonna keep trying to use the 1-2, throw to the body, being the busier guy. Like I told you guys, this guy he's a little bit cocky. He's confident, so he's gonna come forward. I hope that he does. And if he puts the pace on Arlovski, I think he's gonna edge a clean decision. Because Arlovski is not gonna risk much here, guys, to get knocked out by a young guy. And also Arlovski at this point, he's an excellent fighter. I'm a fan of this guy, but he's 42 as well. As physical as surprising it is, he's still there. But I think I'm gonna be favoring the young guy here. More activity, better cardio. Even though Felipe looks chubby and etc., I think he's the better cardio guy here, and I think he's gonna throw more shots and edge a clean decision. I also like Felipe by decision here as well. If you like Arlovski, obviously by decision. I don't think he's gonna risk. He can find a clean shot. Both of these guys can, but it's most likely goes to the decision. All right. Aspenled versus Norma Dumont in the main event. Very good fight. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. Dumont. She's an excellent. This girl is like it's pretty impressive that she has like 7 fights maximum. She's already in the main event. That's how much potential this girl has, but she doesn't have the experience yet. She's still finding her style in the octagon, which make things interesting here. She's the bigger of the two. She hits harder. She's the better striker, But Aspenled, she's gonna do what she does. She's gonna get the hands up, gonna get inside, not moving her head, blocking shots, eating shots, getting to the clinch and trying to pull Norma to the ground and go for that nasty ground and pound. Norma is dangerous on the first round, you know, both on the hands. She also has a good takedown defense in the first round. So to me, we're gonna see Aspen Ladd pushing the pace here. I don't trust Norma's Dumont cardio yet. You know, she's slowed down against Megan Anderson, obviously because she fought like you know, juggernaut, fought like a one-round fight against Megan Anderson, who's a giant featherweight. So she's gonna have the size on Ladd. You could argue that she's not gonna get that bad because of that. Could happen. She could fight smart too. You know, like I told you guys, she has potential, and but she doesn't have the experience yet, guys. I think if you're gonna bet here, it's complicated, you know, because Ladd is more consistent. Her style would favor her better here, but she's also like what, the -150 favorite, which makes things tricky, you know. But Aspen Ladd by TKO, maybe not a bad idea, because she could you know, take it to the ground, especially from the second, from the third, and dominate from top, smash with the ground and pound. So I'm interested in Ladd TKO from +350 at least, you know, and especially from round 3, you know, round 3 or 4 or 5. It's quite tricky to know which one, but I think Ladd keeps pushing the pace, you know. So if you can get like +1500 any of these rounds, +1600, it's not impossible, you know. Now if you like Dumont, I think it's round 1, you know, even though I don't see much chances for round 1, because Ladd has a quite good chin, but it's not impossible. Dumont round 1, I would take it like from +600 or something. Or, you know, Dumont by decision is also not impossible. She fights smart, but I would like that from probably +350 or something like this, you know. So it's a very tricky one to bet. So many questions should be answered, you know, if they don't finish each other early. But it's gonna be a fun fight. Probably gonna just sit back and watch. Alright, so this will do for these predictions, guys. If you're still with me here and you'd like to hear the Patreon, I have basically 4 tiers. For $5, the lock of the night and top 2 parlays. I hope that lots of people jump into this one, because I think it's what most of people like to hear. Plus, it's more accessible, $5 per month to support, show your appreciation to the channel. For $10 is the early releases, you know, so you guys can compare the current cards with the future cards. I try to do my best to release early. It's not always possible, but I try my best here. For $15, it's all the bets that I'm taking line by line, all the props that I'm taking line by line. And for $50, the ultimate package, where you guys can have everything before, plus access to the spreadsheets, to the content that I'm showing here. And line by line is all the bets that I'm taking. I'm gonna show you guys. Sorry about the noise, guys. So I'm gonna, yeah, this is line by line, all the bets that I'm taking. So I put future cards here, combine, I put the parlays, the pro bets are coming up. So you can just basically see everything that I'm doing. Just you know, do whatever you want with this. As long as you take full responsibility, you can copy, do whatever you want with this, and just basically take my experience for your advantage. Alright, so guys, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. Sam from Jordan WRigh, bring the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.